Wait, start over. Start. Go.
Hey, ballers.
But Phil's playing the drums, Pete.
I know.
Oh my God. Welcome to These Balls Can Talk, the podcast that remembers to lock our iPads so that our children won't prank call NFL athletes. This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're getting ready to discuss the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. If you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as I like to say, tickle that little bell. Tickle. We want to welcome to the podcast for the first time another kickballer, Phil Provencher. What's going on, Phil?
I am so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Glad you could make it. Would you like to plug anything?
This is my band that I'm playing in. It's called Nuclear Wolf.
That's an awesome name, by the way.
That is an awesome name. Where did you come up with Nuclear Wolf, Phil?
So Justin, I will call him our band leader because he's the master of everything Nuclear Wolf. We're just kind of his minions. Nuclear Wolf is actually a reference to like the people holding the nuclear arsenal, where like they have the power. They're like the wolves, like the nuclear wolf.
I like that. Nice.
Yeah. I play bass. I obviously don't talk because I'm really not that well spoken.
Oh, that's awesome. So hence the dark glass head you were talking about, amp head that you were talking about before. That is super cool.
You guys have any gigs coming up, or do you want to plug any music that you have out there on the interwebs?
We have a couple gigs coming up. We have a gig coming up next week, May 9th, in Plymouth, Mass, at the New World Tavern. It's this like a last band standing. It's like a competition. So anybody wants to come out and support us, please do.
Cool.
And then we got another show at the end of the month on May 31st in Salem, Mass. So Moonbase 1.
Nice. That sounds awesome, man.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Like
John?
and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah,
John, how
That's
you
right.
been?
So I was late. But Jamie and I were playing Stadium Overwatch, and it was important, and we got to 7 games, but we won. So congratulations to us.
What is Stadium Overwatch?
So I told you guys this last week. It's like everything they had from single player Overwatch that they just put it in the game. So it's Overwatch the RPG.
That's freaking cool. I gotta play that with you guys.
It's really awesome. It's awesome. So the Knicks went and dropped game 5, but are winning game 6, 103-94 with 8 left in the fourth. So I am distracted like I was last time.
They look pretty good in this game, John. I think you're going to be happy.
Oh, that's an air ball. Shut the fuck up.
Wait, what happened?
Said the Knicks touched it.
I am the cooler.
Oh,
You
man.
are the cooler. You shut your fucking mouth.
As
I
Mark's
already
camera
have my
follows him
Thunderbolts
around.
Already have my Thunderbolts tickets. Excited for that.
I does too.
Jamie and I are going on Saturday.
Nice.
Going with Uncle Alan. Alan's coming with us, and I have heard very good things about Thunderbolts. We're going to get into that.
So
but
there's been so much good things.
but I am very excited, and yeah, beautiful day in upstate New York. What's going on with you, Mark?
Kickball has officially started in New England. It's actually been going on for a couple weeks now. But so I play in the Rhode Island League, and I also play in the Worcester League. Phil also does that. Phil, do you play in Boston too?
I do not.
Okay.
They play on Wednesdays in Cambridge. So sorry, Cambridge.
Last year, Glenn was telling me that he did both Worcester and Boston, because even though they both
played on the
on
same
Wednesdays.
team. Yeah, we played on the same team.
$1.45.
I didn't do the overlap, so I ended up playing in the summer with a bunch of people. Yeah.
Cool.
Fun, but not Worcester fun. 22 teams in Worcester.
22 teams in Worcester.
Damn.
That's awesome.
That's a lot of people in Worcester.
A lot of people on the field.
It's fucking wild.
Seriously.
The video. I
fun
finally
time,
saw what New England kickball looks like because Mark posted on his stories, and it looked pretty fantastic.
It's actually
so
kind of cool
fantastic.
for playoffs. Like playoffs last a whole day, and so you're just like playing kickball and cooking out, and it's just so fun. It's so fun.
That is cool.
That's awesome, man.
Pete, how are you doing?
Well, hopefully this is the last week of this project. Everybody, fingers crossed. It's been really, really rough. But
let's go, Pete!
Some good stuff though. I went running today for the first time in over a month.
Ooh!
Like nice. I literally was just like, yeah, I'll run 4 miles, and yeah, that was rough, but it was.
But you did it.
I did it. It felt so good. I was like, I'm physically tired, and it feels so nice. Like to be physically tired and mentally refreshed. It's like those two things have been imbalanced. I've just been physically restless and like mentally just exhausted. So it was nice to flip it for once. And another exciting thing, our pool opened up today.
Wow,
nice.
really?
It's a green marsh, but it's open.
Yeah, you open early to beat the rush and to get to cheaper prices, right?
To beat the rush, and also, you think it's green now. If you waited 2 more weeks, you'd have to like literally just like shovel algae bloom out of there. Like it starts like increasing exponentially once you get past May 1st. Especially with the warm weather.
I want to see a time-lapse video of you shoveling algae.
It would not be very exciting. So yeah, but no, we're
be exciting for us.
We're getting psyched, and I need to buy a lawnmower. Our buddy Colin lent me his and over the fall, and going to use it a couple more times and give it back to him on Saturday. Thanks, Colin. And yeah, what do you guys recommend? I'd like to try electric. I just don't know if it's there yet.
It's there. Wow, your lawn is pretty big, but it's there.
It depends on the mower, I think.
Well,
there are mowers that'll do it. They're just really expensive.
They make electric riding mowers now.
I know. Yeah, but they're like $4,000. I'm not going to do that.
No, they're not.
Some of them, they were expensive.
Ryobi makes one.
Okay.
And I don't think it's quite that much.
Well, I'm looking like
we have an Ego.
Okay,
yeah, Ego. I've heard Ego.
That's one of the brands I was looking at. They're 56 volt, but they're like big batteries, and they're really well built.
And you can have a conversation over it.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I've used electric, and like because our friend Alan has one actually, and I've borrowed his too, and yeah, they're great. That's why I would like to if I can do it. Well,
you know what the worst part about mowing is? Having to like empty the bag, right? And so with my gas mower, I was doing a lot of starting and stopping, and that sucks with gas mowers. And so like I was tired of that, so I bought an electric, and I will never go back. I love my electric mower. And my lawn is small, but I love my electric mower.
Yeah, if you're bagging, that makes a lot of sense.
I have electric too, and I have some Ryobi hand tools. So okay, I was buying. My whole like shed right now is like just a giant Ryobi display model because I have everything. But
it looks like the store, like they have the shelf or the aisle where it's all.
I have all like the hand tools. I just recently bought like a leaf blower, and I have a snow blower. I have the mower as well. I've had them ever since I've owned this home now, so it's been 4 years, and the batteries are still pretty good. So
amazing.
Some of them have crapped out, but they're not that expensive, so you can just interchange them. And
the bigger Ryobis are expensive, but compared to some of the others, like Greenworks is another brand I was looking at. They're very similar to Ego. I have
a Greenworks mower.
Yeah, then they seem nice. Their batteries are really expensive, so I'm trying to find like the right deal or the right type that comes with a big enough one.
You're absolutely right. If you buy the batteries by themselves, it can get expensive. However, there are some things that are just as expensive, and it comes with the battery. So I was like, that's one reason why I have so many Ryobi tools, because I need new batteries. Like, whoa, I could just use this tool too.
Oh yeah, I'm not buying it for the lawn for this string trimmer. I'm buying it for the battery that comes with the string trimmer. All right, so that's my life.
So hey everyone, why was the volcano such a great performer?
I don't know.
Why?
Because it always brought the heat. It's time for warm up your balls. What's the background noise there? Does anyone else hear that?
Yeah, I hear that too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
My air conditioner? Is it me?
Yeah, I think it's you, John.
I don't know.
God damn it. Hold, please.
During this segment, Pete will spin the wheel and we'll randomly select a question for our guest to answer. Are you ready, Pete?
Yep, that was it. Yes, let's do it. Here we go. Spinning the wheel.
Mark, stop watching the fucking game.
Ooh, this is a fun one. What song do you turn up when no one's watching? Like a guilty pleasure song.
Go ahead, Phil.
Phil, sorry, yes. Phil, as the guest, you get first dibs on these questions.
Well, I was gonna say "Hot" by Avril Lavigne, but I actually
Actually, not a bad song. I like that one.
did a faux strip tease in a Princess Peach costume in a Boston bar at a thing.
Wait, to that song?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Oh man, my wife would love to hear that. She's a big Avril Lavigne fan. That's awesome. Some of her stuff hits pretty hard, actually.
For whatever reason, I don't know really why this particular song. It's really a lot of monster ballads, especially when it's playing in the guitar or in the car. But I love "Mr. Big Be With You," and when I hear that, I just belt it out loud in the car and just like the top of my lungs.
I'm the one who wants to
Exactly.
So like,
I feel like that would.
you guys all know. Well,
sometimes.
Phil doesn't know, but everyone who's listening know, and Mark and Pete know. I live with a teenage girl, and so I like a lot of teen girl pop.
Ooh.
I don't know why. A lot of it's awesome though.
Like Pink Pony Club.
Like Pink Pony Club, like Sabrina Carpenter.
That song is everywhere.
Like obviously Tay. Like there's so much of that like girl rock music that I really dig. I think it's because it's awesome though. I don't think it's a guilty pleasure.
I mean, some of that stuff's incredibly well produced now. I feel like we finally got past the loudness wars. Phil will know what I'm talking about. Where like music just kept getting louder and louder and louder, and it's like, oh, this pop song has 5 decibels of dynamic range from start to finish. That's not very. It's just at the top the whole time. So like, I feel like they've calmed that down because everything is now gain managed in sites like Spotify or YouTube Music or Amazon. So it's like, oh, we don't have to slam it because if we do, it's going to get turned down. Okay, and that just fixed it. So now you actually have these songs have room to breathe, and they're just like they're still loud and they're still big, but it's like dynamics are back, and it's nice. Like voices sound more natural again. Like I love hearing a really good processed vote, like a really, really well processed vocal.
I think Taylor Swift did a really amazing thing for female artists, and she released multiple genres on major albums, and they all did really well. Mm-hmm. And so now it's given them the permission to be anything.
Yeah. I think you have
the permission for like Olivia Rodrigo to write rock songs, which are all fucking slammers, right? They're all great, especially even the ones she copied from Paramore.
Paramore said it was cool. It's fine.
I mean, no, Paramore didn't say it was cool. Paramore said, "Please pay us and give us a credit, and then it's cool."
Yeah, it was cool after the money got exchanged.
Which they did. She was like, I guess. Yeah. Reminds me, and teenage girl, it reminds me of an episode of one of those Nickelodeon shows where Ariana Grande, who's in one of them, or a lot of them, but she's like humming a song and she like sells it to recording artists, and he eventually gets sued for copyright infringement. And she's just like, oh, it's just came to my mind.
Show?
Right.
Yeah, that's on a kid's show. They're making fun of it.
That's pretty funny. Actually, John, can you gain down your mic just a little bit? I had to do the same thing for Mark. I wonder if something changed on.
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
All right. Why don't you spin again?
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say for me, the London Philharmonic Orchestra recordings of Final Fantasy music. That's pretty fucking obscure.
That's cool.
But sometimes you just get in that mood. No, and another one is a Canadian political protest band from the 90s named Moxie Fruvis out of Ontario.
That's not a guilty pleasure song.
And
Pete.
I found
like that music.
I love that music. No, but other people would hear like, I don't know, like some of those songs and be like, what the fuck is this? But I found some of them karaoke the other night and I was singing them.
You did not.
I did. I sang Fell in Love, River Valley, the drinking song. They were all on karaoke. Classic 1993 album there called Bargainville. Anyway, next question.
I think only you look forward to that.
Probably. What's something you could talk about for hours? Phil, you got first dibs here.
Kickball, maybe.
Yeah,
hours.
That is a truth fact.
Is the game that complex?
That is a truth fact.
Well, it's just one of those things. It's like you could talk strategy, you could talk whatever, you could talk about just the social aspects of the game, like everything. Like Mark
Stuff
and
that
I
happened
played.
in years past.
Yeah, I mean, my wife started playing in 2007. I jumped on board with her. I've been playing since 2007, like 2, 3, 4 seasons a year, you know, and just like met tons and tons of people across the entire country. And it's just like, and I've also learned that like people will take anything they really love to an extreme. Apparently, there's a rock paper scissors championship in Vegas every year,
Like, what?
and you're like, what? But same token, it's just like, hey, you got this kids game kickball, and it's like people play it all across the country at very high levels, and it's so goddamn fun. I've met the best people playing kickball.
Vegas also does a yearly tournament for kickball. They call Waka Palooza,
Nice.
Correct.
and it certainly is a palooza.
So
It's pretty crazy.
Phil, your goal should be to be good enough at kickball then to get on to like an actual televised event like on ESPN 8 The Ocho. If they still do they still have
that exists? If you didn't know, Mars Kickball, they do turf wars.
Okay.
And they've actually had a couple years now that they've had ESPN games.
Wow.
Where they had a tournament, and they actually like not really drafted, but they had like the people vote to have people on 2 teams, and it was like kind of like the highlight game which they played on ESPN. Pretty awesome.
That's cool.
I got a lot of people I know playing on those teams.
So you guys all know this. I can talk about Marvel for hours. I have a really
I
bad
was
mind.
about to say, I was about to ask you, John. I wanted you to answer it, but you can't say Marvel.
Yeah. I guess I can talk about Jamie for hours.
Mm-hmm. That's probably a good one, yeah.
Yeah. But we watch The Floor on Fox sometimes, and Jamie's curious of what all our categories would be. Mine would be Marvel. I'm a font of Marvel minutia.
There you go.
That is a truth fact.
What's your favorite movie or show out of any of the Marvel stuff?
I am probably going to be boring and say WandaVision's probably the best show.
And that was an objectively great show.
Yeah, it was objectively great. I think the best movie is, for me, Winter Soldier.
Interesting.
I think that's the best movie, and
I have
it's
heard
good.
you say that
like
a
the
lot,
action's
too,
great,
Yep.
and the character development is also great. And Winter Soldier's a great villain. Like I love the spy ones. All the spy ones I think are on the top of my list.
I was gonna say the Scarlett Johansson ones where she teams up with Chris Evans, right? It's like that whole espionage spy thing. Those are always super cool.
Right. And I think the reason they're better is because they're more movies because they don't get lost in the power set. Right? I think that.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story's got room to breathe.
To me, I think I could talk about the Celtics all day long. There's actually a documentary series on Max about the history of the Celtics that I've been watching, and it goes all the way back to the beginning of the Celtics, from the Bob Cousy, Bill Russell days, and to the championship that they won last year. They had years of footage because some of those Celtics rights are no longer with us, but they use footage from maybe 10 years ago, and then definitely some of the game footage from like back in the 50s as well. So it was a pretty cool documentary, and if you're a Celtics fan, definitely worth a watch.
I do love those sports history things for teams you really like. Yeah.
Let's bang out one more, even though we're at time.
All right.
3 questions. That's what I like.
One more. Shout out to talking about space stuff or the Wheel of Time for me for hours. All right. What's your favorite guilty pleasure TV show or movie? We already discussed Marvel movies, but how about outside of that?
I've been rewatching Arrested Development. because it's
Oh, that's a
like
good
the
show.
best writing I think I've ever experienced. They have the funniest humor.
That show was about 10, 15 years ahead of its time, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like they were playing it on Fox on Sundays at like 7 p.m. And it was like, if you watched one of the shows in the third season, they would refer back to something that happened in the first season. And if you knew what they were
Mhm.
talking about, it amplified that humor by like 10. It was just so funny.
Yeah. I love how in the little like 2-minute epilogues of those episodes too, major things would happen and they just gloss over it. And then you go to you're like, oh, that probably will just undo itself in the next episode. Nope, that guy's hand is gone. Like, what the? Like, but it happened in like a quick blip. Like, what? Yeah, it's such a cool premise. The fourth season was a little weird. I think they tried to get too cute with it, but the first three were like legendary.
See, interesting thing, there's a fourth and a fifth. And my
Okay.
wife was saying the same thing because they kind of yeah, they weren't as funny, but like I'm actually on the fifth season right now, and it's,
Okay.
it's still funny, but not as funny.
Loving that
Cat
one.
just got whacked.
Oh no.
I can't believe how rough they let them play.
The whole series has been like, we're gonna talk about that a little later.
Jesus.
Listen, I love my sitcoms. There's a handful that I rewatch all the time, every year or so. How I Met Your Mother, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Friends. I'm actually rewatching Seinfeld right now.
Nice.
I think the most rewatchable sitcom from the aughts is New Girl.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'd
I
have
just
to
rewatched
argue
New Girl as well.
I'd have to argue with The Office. For
That
me.
different bird. The Office isn't a sitcom. It's a docudrama, or it's one of those mockumentaries.
All
That's
right,
the word.
fine.
The
If
word
you
I meant
wanna-
to say.
If you want to change the category slightly
It's not.
to
It's
get
not
some new
a. It's
girl
not
in there.
a. It's not a sitcom though.
No, it's. I guess not. No.
It's not
Fine.
a sitcom.
But
It's a
I was
completely
just saying
different
for-
genre.
Okay, fine. But I gotta.
It's funny. It's
amazing.
very rewatchable.
One of the best shows ever made. Yeah, New Girl is great too. Though actually, I'd be curious. That and Parks and Rec would be ones I would like to rewatch someday.
Mm-hmm. That was
So
a good one, too.
those two, I thought I feel like will
that
hold
cast
up
was
really
amazing.
well.
Yeah, that cast was amazing at Parks
Yeah.
and Rec when you look back on it.
Yeah,
All right.
Oh, yeah.
New Girl too.
And
honestly.
now we hand things off to Pete for the bonus topic.
All right. Oh wait, here we go. Bonus topic. Just had to throw the reverb on there. Okay. So guys, I don't know if you heard the news because Buffalo stuff. It's a small market, But the Bills GM made a big angry tirade on a local Buffalo news station that has now gone national. Pretty much coming on the station for his regular weekly interview, but unprovoked, immediately went into this tirade and had to be bleeped out multiple times, screaming about how he feels like them in particular, calling them out, and a bunch of national media was giving him shit for his draft because they neglected to pick a wide receiver in an earlier round. So, do you feel like there's merit to that, considering the Bills haven't really had good wide receiver depth or honestly, or even top end since Diggs was in his prime? Now, the funny part is the show that he was on, apparently he had only listened to the last 5 minutes, and that's where they were like, you could have got a receiver, and didn't listen to the 2 hours before that while they were praising his draft of the defensive, completely revamping their D-line, corner position, and securing a ton of depth for years to come. So they did give him praise for that, but he missed it, and he just got pissed off. Like, is that okay for him to kind of do that? It's since then he's been on kind of like a tour on like Pat McAfee, on Rich Eisen, all the usual big national shows, kind of defending his position even further and doubling down. So I just want to get your thoughts on this, guys.
I actually think it's this is all fabricated. It's fake. It's fake news. Like,
But why would he
I
lose
mean,
his cool like that? He's never done that before.
Because I think.
But exactly right. Why?
I mean, I get it. Maybe he was a little bit little perturbed at all the talk because let's be honest, the Bills probably did need a wide receiver. However, this wide receiver class not very good.
No, it's not the most exciting.
Why waste a pick that on a wide receiver that probably isn't going to work out potentially, but build your defense because that was a huge sore spot last year.
They did.
I mean, you said it yourself, Pete. So they would score like 30 points, but they would give up 40 sometimes. So
yeah, and I have no problem with them loading the first 3 picks because they went into the draft with 1 first round and 2 second round picks. They changed the 2 seconds to move up in the second and then move the other one down to the top of the third, and they went the fastest cornerback in the draft, which seems like a good pick because they needed a CB2 that could start almost right away. So that was a great pick. And they went TJ. Wow, why am I forgetting his last name? Sanders. Really good defensive tackle. He's kind of the Ed Oliver type though, a little bit undersized, more of a penetrating, like sack the quarterback D tackle. But the two of them combined, honestly, could wreak havoc up the middle, I think.
Well, look how the Chiefs lost, and they lost this Super Bowl, and then they lost against the Bucks a few years ago as well, with a formidable defensive line, right?
Yeah,
that's how the Patriots lost to the Giants both of those years.
I remember that.
The front four just did damage.
Yeah,
and if you all you need to do is rush 4 defensemen, and you have 7 back defending. I mean, that's essentially what you need to do in the NFL.
Oh yeah, so I have no problem with that. And then Landon, I think, was their edge rusher they got in the 3rd. That was a good pick too. He slipped. A lot of people had him going bottom 1st to 2nd round, but he somehow got to them in the 3rd. It's the 4th round pick where they picked this giant mountain of a man that has itty bitty legs as supposed to be their giant run stuffer D tackle. And
what? He's just all torso.
He's all arms and torso. He's 365 pounds of arms and torso. Like he skips leg day, apparently. And he has a major back injury coming out of college. So
what I find interesting.
Why not go wide out there?
No, but let's stick with what you're asking, right? What I find interesting is that on Buffalo sports media, Brendan Bean has a chance to talk about the team. He does. He talks about the team, but then he has this outburst that's completely out of character, and now everyone is talking about the team. I agree with Mark. I think it was on purpose.
You think it was? That's an interesting. Okay, I never thought about it that way because he's never been that person in the years that he's been the Bills GM. But I mean, maybe.
And now we're talking about a Bills team that I agree with you, Pete. They did fine. I mean, to have
their offense is good.
late to have a very late pick in the draft. Their draft was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
it was no Giants draft.
Well, we'll get to that later. Little tease there.
No Giants draft, but it was fine. And I think that is the best that they can. And I mean, the whole world wants to see Josh Allen win a Super Bowl.
Yes, please.
He's very very likable. He has a beautiful Hollywood wife, and he's just like a big dumb dummy, right? He's just like, he's like your brother. I heard somebody from Buffalo tell me he's everybody's baby brother, and I think that is really cool.
That sounds about right. Like the prankster baby
Phil,
brother.
To put this into maybe a little bit more perspective, so you're pretty level-headed. How many times have you ever just randomly blown up on the kickball field? That's essentially what we're equating this to.
Yeah. Like you just lose it. Like something triggers you and you're like, you know what? No more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm just going off super uncharacteristically.
No, I'm the guy that plays with those people and then takes them down a notch normally.
All right, final thoughts. We're at time.
You've never blown up on the kickball field before?
Rarely.
All right.
I haven't lost control. I've yelled, but
So I like
you gotta keep control.
I agree.
In control.
But maybe this is what John and Mark said, where maybe
Phil
this
got the
is
reference.
Oh yeah, is that the animal?
Yeah.
Yes.
From the Muppet movie with Marshall from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes. There you go. But yeah, no. Thinking of this as a thinly veiled secret marketing campaign. That's an interesting take. I like it. I have not heard anyone mention that before, but
It just seems so obvious.
okay. We'll see.
And we're semi-professional sports journalists, so you should listen to us.
The emphasis. Oh, I meant to put this on there because I'm pretty sure it's fair use for me to just have a website of Reddit with like his face on there. But yeah, anyway, go check it out.
So we would like to.
You can listen there. Oh, Mark, do your interface thing is crackly again. Before you get started, I know I'm sorry, but we'll transition back to our while we wait for Mark.
Get this fixed. We need a graphic if we can do that.
Pete, make us a graphic.
I need a technical difficulties thing. We'll just play some music.
We would like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, Bristle Boost Turbo Powered Toothbrushes.
Whoa.
Our mechanical brushes provide more power than the average toothbrush to thoroughly clean, but also gentle enough to massage your teeth. Bristle Boost, because plaque should be afraid of you. All right, everyone, shall we kick off this shindig?
Hell yeah.
Do it, Mark Capella.
Hello, it's first topic you're looking for. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. It's all I ever wanted, and my ears are open wide. 'Cause you know just what to say, and you know just what to do. And I want to tell you so much.
I love you.
When you first did Hello, I was like, wait, Adele was in 1984. Oh, the other Hello song, the original Hello song. That's funny.
So call back to Herson quoting Shannon Sharp by saying Lakers in 5. Well, Sharp was at least right about the number of games because the Minnesota Timberwolves surprisingly won 4 out of 5 games against the almighty Lakers.
Yikes.
We also saw the Milwaukee Bucks disintegrate against the Indiana Pacers in 5 games. And what may have also been the last game for Giannis Antetokounmpo as a member of the Bucks, according to some experts. We have had competitive series with Detroit and John's Knicks, which they're currently playing, and with having an old school feel to it, being a very physical matchup. And then also Houston and Golden State have been going the distance. Finally, the 3 favorites in the Cavs, Celtics, and Thunder have all already advanced to the next round. So everyone, what have we learned from the first round of the NBA playoffs that John is currently watching?
The games have all, I mean, the series have not been close except for Detroit Knicks, which has been incredibly close.
Well, Houston and Golden State has also been close.
But the games have been pretty good. I think what we've learned is Tyrese Halliburton is very good at basketball. Anthony Edwards is very good at basketball. I think that a lot of thoughts that the Lakers didn't have what it takes. Sorry, Hurston. They didn't look good. I think that might be it. I mean, I think
did you hear what Redick did in the last 2 games? Like he just played the starting 5 for like the entire second half.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh man.
I mean, it didn't seem like it was working. I really like, even though I don't exactly like the reffing in this Knicks series, I like the closeness. The games have all been very competitive. The last 4 games have been decided by 12 overall points, which is great for basketball, right? I think it's it hasn't
Not
changed my
necessarily
mind.
what you want in a first round matchup, though, right?
No, the fucking Celtics are gonna curb stomp the Knicks.
Yeah, because they're going to be tired.
Yeah, it's gonna be really bad. What's happening?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was weird.
Everyone was just jumping for the ball. It was a scrum. It was like almost like a rugby scrum.
That was super weird.
Oh, man.
No, that's out of bounds. No, that's out of bounds.
You're
That
out of
guy hit in the
bounds.
face. Right in the face. I don't know. I think that it hasn't changed the fact that the Thunder, Celtics, or Cavs are going to win the championship this year.
Yeah.
It looks like they are.
Yeah.
But we knew that all season. So, I don't know.
It's I mean, in the West, it was very interesting the fact that like up until the last week of the season, like there was like 6 teams that could have been anywhere between the 2nd or the 7th seed. It was just so tight towards the end of the year, and we ended up with having the Lakers being the 3 seed, really not a true 3 seed because they lost in 5 games, and then Houston, who was the number 2 seed, they're most likely going to go to a game 7 with Golden State. So though they're not really true high seeds potentially, but you have the both ones, and then the 2 seed being the Celtics, definitely taking care of their opponents. So, I mean, we'll see. The 3-6 in a first round is generally can be a good series. Sometimes it's not. I mean, we saw that in the West. The Lakers were the 3 seed, but the Knicks and the Pistons. I mean, this just has an old school feel to it. It's been very physical. The refs have swallowed their whistles a lot in this series. Like, I get it, John, that there have been a lot of no calls. Which,
I mean, Hart got mugged about 2 minutes ago. He got thrown to the ground.
We're going to talk about that a little later. But I mean, going back to that Max series about with the Celtics. I mean, they played back a lot of the playoffs from the 80s, where Kevin McHale took off Kurt Ramos's head while he was trying to go for a layup. Do you remember that, John?
Yep, I do. I do.
I mean, those basketball series in the playoffs were just brutal.
And I mean, that's what they did. That's what they did in the 80s and 90s. They let them play a lot. I mean,
reminds me, Mr. Phil, about the finals game where there was a big fight at the very end of all times too. Like, you remember that with Fitzy?
I don't remember the details of what happened exactly.
Oh, it was just there was a big fight at the finals, but it was after the game too. That was kind of funny about it. We talked about it last week a little bit with baseball. That like that's of all my kickball memories, that one is going to be one that's going to stick in my mind for a while. Like big fight.
Damn.
I was witness to a big fight. There was a big fight where some people got ejected for the whole season.
Yeah.
My team.
Was your
We're talking
about season
guys, are we talking about
ejection?
kickball again?
We are.
I feel like this is going to happen a lot on this show.
I want Phil to talk. So yes, we're going to bring it back to kickball.
Essentially,
That's funny.
any sport in this universe could create fights.
I will. So all right.
Fights.
To relate the question to kickball, isn't a lot of times what happens in the kickball playoffs also kind of predetermined? Like a lot of times it's like the top 4 seeds that usually make it to like the last round.
Not this last playoffs.
Not last playoffs. Last fall was definitely a huge exception because the big number 1 seed that's won the season like every single year got taken out in the quarters. I think it was.
It was our second game. Mm-hmm. So your former guest Shane, he and I are co-captains on a team called DTF, and we ended up beating this team who I don't know if they'd lost a game in literally like 3-4 seasons. And we somehow took them down. We were not all that. And we took them down. And then the next game we lost. And that team ended up winning the championship.
You had the high of the win, and then it went downhill.
Then they got enough fight. I think I was probably just going to physically break at that point. I'm 50 now, so I'm just like, I'm falling to pieces here.
Oh, man.
We're not that far behind you, Phil.
It's a good Velvet Revolver song, too.
If you know the old...
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought about that one, too.
If you know Kevin McHale, then you're old.
That's true. That is a true fact.
I remember him taking Ramsey's head off. Good old days.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, we're at time.
Alrighty.
Also, Mikhail Bridges just did a clutch put-in, which was super sexy.
How much time is left on that one?
You get a golf club.
35 seconds and it's tied again. I hate basketball, you guys.
Oh, my God.
And Detroit has the fucking ball.
Oh, no.
So take a look at me now.
story, motherfucker.
Zos will be standing here. And you with the next topic is against all odds and the chance I've got to take.
I was going to do that, Pete. Amazing.
Do
Great
it.
minds.
Yes.
All right. We're going to get away from sports because we want Phil to talk, right? So I know we're really excited about this because we've been talking about it for weeks, but the Thunderbolts, guys, comes out tomorrow.
The Thunderbolts.
Yes.
So after a reasonable number of failures in both Phase 4 and Phase 5, and the return of Daddy at Disney, Bob Iger, to close the purse, Marvel Studios slowed its output in 24 in both shows and feature films. So 2025 was supposed to fix a lot of the problems, but Captain America Brave New World had poor critical acclaim, and while great, Daredevil Born Again didn't even make Nielsen ratings. And so, Thunderbolt's early reviews for the first time in a while says that this is a superhero movie that cares to be a movie, and most importantly, it has a voice and a style of its own. So how important is it for movie makers to still make AAA movies with care and not be lost by the power of whatever IP they are making? And what are we most excited about with the Thunderbolts?
So, I mean, Marvel has become like a juggernaut, right? And the fact that you have a lot of people like us that are loyal to Marvel will watch every single thing that they do. A lot of times,
I'm not going to miss it. How the fuck is that? How am I supposed to miss one?
So you don't necessarily want to, to lose those kinds of fans, because you could if you put out flop after flop after flop.
But they did, Mark.
Well,
they did. I love them. I love them. But
luckily, yes. Listen, we're all loyal to Marvel. We watch everything Marvel. Pete may watch it a few years after we do, but
I'll get there. Where are the X-Men? Damn it! I'll watch those on time.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, like you need to appease to the masses. Okay, yes,
the
John,
next
I saw that
one.
too. Not yet. But a very clutch moment, just when we lose John's head on the camera.
Yeah, right. That's
what the fuck just happened? Jalen Brunson's the best basketball player in the world.
Jalen Brunson.
amazing.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Keep in mind though, Marvel still listen, it's getting expensive to make these Marvel movies now. You have to pay like all these actors like so much money, and so eventually imagine if you keep doing flops, you're just gonna run out of money.
You've seen all the famous people,
and Kevin Feige obviously needs help.
You've seen all the famous people in Doomsday, right? You saw the list, all the chairs, all the famous people, like all the famous people. They're like, well, shit, we better make one that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think the problem, and let's talk about, and really the bread and butter of this question is Marvel, yes, but like all major IP, like the fucking Minecraft movie, which was fucking terrible, right? Yeah. I mean, if you make an IP movie, is it your responsibility to still make it a good film, or does it matter?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but nobody does. They trot out, the big lens flares and the big explosions and Hulk, throwing a car.
Well, I
and
guess how do you define a good movie? I guess is it something that's going to appease the masses, or is it something that I think it's artistically great?
I think it's the difference, and we said this at the front of the show. I think it's the difference between something like Winter Soldier and something like Quantum Mania.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
So you think Quantum Mania was what exactly? Like it was
fucking stupid.
Trying to do well. Why do you think? Aside from the whole Jonathan Majors thing,
no, because
why do you think Quantum Mania?
Giant ants beat the Marvel big bad for Phase 5.
I mean,
you don't think that's believable?
Ants are incredibly strength efficient. So I mean, we've never seen a giant ant, so we don't know what it can possibly do.
I mean,
up until then, giant ants were okay defeating the other bad guys.
Giant ants never defeated any. I mean, like Thanos wouldn't have been beaten by a giant ant.
I mean,
You don't know that.
No.
do you guys remember that giant?
Thanos was a good fucking villain. He was a good villain.
Do you remember that giant ant in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and how much it was able to lift?
But that ant was nice.
That was a nice
That ant was the kids' friends.
Yes.
Pete, what do you think?
I mean, I do want to watch this one. It does seem good because it's like any story. We were just talking about this at lunch today, actually. Right? How did Guardians of the Galaxy become this super popular and amazing, successful movie? It's not because we knew who the fuck they were before. At least I didn't. I was like, I knew that Marvel somewhere in the depths of their like C and D list characters had some kind of
Guardians of the Galaxy is a back page. That's a B-side.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
Right? I was like, I knew they had some kind of raccoon that could talk that was technological. That's about my full knowledge of Guardians of the Galaxy. And then James Gunn goes in and makes a banger of a movie with a great script, a great cast. It's just well written and acted, right?
And for
And a
you
good
and
story.
Phil, and a great fucking soundtrack.
Yeah. Right? You do those things that you just make, like, forget about it. It's like, I'm not just going to make a good superhero movie. I'm just going to make a good movie that happens to have superheroes in it.
And I know you'll feel this, Pete. Nintendo games are good because they're good, but also because the music's good.
Yeah. Does Koji Kondo still work at Nintendo? Because he's the one.
I hope so.
He made the legendary da 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 da, like, right, all the Mario music. I forget who composes Zelda, but that's a different composer.
You know, I was
mean,
like
that music is all iconic.
I was 6 months ago old when I learned that "It's a Me Mario" means Super Mario in Japanese.
Really?
Yeah, I do that.
I did not know that.
I did not know that up until this year. It's a Me Mario. It's not just an Italian. It's not an Italian stereotype. That's a Japanese word.
Also, that's clever. It's also Super Mario.
But I mean,
Amazing.
all that shit matters. It matters how you feel during the movie. On Guardians of the Galaxy, it matters because the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy all very good. Star-Lord, flawed. Rocket, flawed, right? Yeah, everybody's they're all fucking struggling, and everybody likes reluctant hero, right? A reluctant hero is the most popular trope in movies because everyone likes reluctant hero.
And it had to be written, though, to take advantage of that, right? We've seen plenty of terrible movies with great IPs that they just wasted because they didn't know how to use it. And this is a case of incredible writing with a very under-the-radar IP, and it worked.
I really think that James Gunn is a very good director. He's a very good director. Mm-hmm. He does not put out a lot of bad things.
No.
And I think that matters.
So I guess my thought to this, to bring it back to Thunderbolts, is do you feel like this
We are going to be on the Wheaties box.
Yes. Do you feel like this has the potential to capture the same magic, or has it just been too many also-thans that have happened since those magical early Marvel moments? I feel like
it's going to be similarly good. And I think this because all of the characters in Thunderbolts are flawed. They're flawed characters. They're all bad guys who want to be good. They're all like, I just rewatched, and I forget what show it was in. I think it maybe was in the beginning of the Hawkeye show.
Oh yeah, that was a good show.
Yelena comes back from the snap. She literally shows up in a house. She doesn't realize she's been gone. She walks out. She talks to some ex-widow who has a kid, right? It's 5 years later. And she goes, after she realizes she's back, she goes, I need to talk to Natasha. I need to tell her I'm okay. And she's like,
oh yeah,
some stuff has happened.
Got some news for you there.
I think that was Echo, not Hawkeye, but yeah.
No, it was way before Hawkeye.
Was it?
Or way before Echo. Echo was like this year.
Yeah, that was definitely Hawkeye because we just watched that not too long ago. Like
you're right. I remember
eventually
that.
I'll get to
Hawkeye. That's right.
Right, and so it's her motivation to want to kill Clint. Right, she thinks it's Clint's fault because Valentina.
That's exactly what happened. Yep.
Because Valentina has told her it's Clint's fault, and she doesn't know. She just got back. And I think Valentina as a villain who's just like slightly like very like evil Nick Fury, right? Just kind of corrupting people, like touch, right? I mean, a lot of really good storytelling in this movie, or at least I hope. Also, hilarious Russian accents. I'm easy.
Can never have enough of those, right?
We're at time. Final thoughts. Run board.
I know, Phil. We made you watch a lot of the trailers. What do you think? Do you think you're gonna see the movie?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see it. Not sure when. So
This weekend is the right answer.
I'm not seeing it until Tuesday.
I'll be playing a lot of kickball on Saturday. I'll be in Virginia Beach. But Mark was asking like a good question where it's like who's the target? You know, like
Yeah.
are they looking for mainstream? Do they
No, but
want
I mean,
the
like,
loyalists to know all
what
about
I mean is like, 25 to 40-year-old white men. You know, the big, wide demographic of people who like superheroes, who read comic books growing up. I mean, like, they're not concerned about their demographic. Their demographic is still the same thing. It's just they have to, I think their push towards R-rated content, Daredevil, Born Again, Punisher, was smart because all the people who liked Phase 3 20 years ago are 20 years older. And I don't know, Frank Castle fucking, heartlessly murdering like 25 cops in Daredevil Born Again was really very good. Was very good.
Yeah, well, don't spoil it.
He was very angry. I mean, that's not really a spoiler.
I guess
Punisher,
not, sure.
Punisher killing people.
Yeah,
John,
that's true. That's what he does.
I have a question for you. Do you feel the intent of Marvel Studios, like their ultimate goal for movies now, is different than when it was, say, for Iron Man?
No, I mean their goal is still to make money.
Well, was that
their goal is
primary goal before?
Yes, their primary goal is to make money. But I mean, I think their primary goal in making money is to make something that is universally accepted. And I think a universally accepted film looks less like Captain America: Brave New World, which I think had the responsibility of making the Anthony Mackie Cap very accepted, which I think was important. It's an important thing for them to try to do, right? But I think Thunderbolts has no responsibility. I think that movie should just be fun. Deadpool versus Wolverine was good because it was fun. Fun as fuck. This is just a fun fucking movie. It was stupid and hilarious, and it didn't take itself seriously, and that's why it was good.
All right.
That's a good end.
It went on for a while.
I mean most
maybe
Marvel
seven.
ones do in
Maybe
the show.
seven.
Let's
Maybe
be
7
realistic
minutes.
here.
Maybe 7.
All right.
Now I've got the next topic. Let's kick off. Wait.
Start the fuck again. Be better, Mark. Be better.
The problem is I'm thinking of the song in my head, but trying to read different lyrics, and it just doesn't it's not compatible. All right, ready? Now I've got the next topic. Let your Sunday shoes just kick. Please, a Philly. Talk about something, please. Jack, get back. Come on before we crack. Lose your blues. Everybody, next topic.
Yeah.
Oh!
All right, short aside, because you talked about Footloose. They're gonna make a Tremors show, and Kevin Bacon's gonna be in it.
Interesting.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Nice.
80s are coming back.
So
Actually,
if you're like Phil and myself, you've officiated sports ball games in the past, and it can be daunting to have a somewhat sense of power in your hands and knowing that any call you make could be a turning point in a game or match. Now, there's an unwritten rule in some sports where officials and referees tend to swallow the whistle and let the last moments of a game play out. Now, this was entirely apparent in Game 4 of the series, at least at the end, between the Pistons and the Knicks, where Tim Hardaway Jr. got hacked on a last-second three-pointer, which wasn't called on the floor, but the head ref later admitted that they probably should have blown the whistle. We've seen examples of different officiating due to high profiles in the playoffs of many sports, as well as including some Super Bowls. So, everyone, should a game be officiated differently in the last moments of a game or the playoffs?
Well, I'm going to say, all right, I am not going to be like, I have said on this show multiple times that I really don't want a playoff game to be decided by the refs. And I think I still, even though a lot of this series, even though the Knicks won, a lot of this series, I feel like the officiating was bad. It was a little Detroit leaning. I still think that, like, the end of that Chiefs Super Bowl, not last year, but the year before, that was on a call. That's boring.
Oh, the pass interference? Yeah.
Yeah, to end a Super Bowl on pass interference, that sucks.
Yeah.
And
Especially
even though it was
consistent. Be consistent.
even though it was pass interference, I think it sucks to have it just be like, all right, 15-yard penalty. They're far the fuck away. Nothing we can do about it now.
I kind of agree. It probably was pass interference, but they were letting it go the entire game. Game, and then all of a sudden they call it in the last 2 minutes.
And I mean, that's a consistent thing that folks have said about like MLB umpires, right? Most baseball players don't care if umps are calling things out of the strike zone as long as they consistently call things. As long as because they can adjust really quick. As long as they consistently call the same balls and the same strikes and the same range, you're like, okay, this is what this is.
I remember back in college refereeing an intramural basketball game, and it was pretty tight. And then I made an offensive foul call, and I could just feel the momentum swing to another team. Phil, has that ever happened to you? Like a call that you've made in a game that all of a sudden you just feel the momentum just turn?
Yeah, I mean, like we're saying, like, you want to be consistent. So it's like, unless like your brain just goes to another universe and like you change things, it's like you're just going to call what's going on. And then like sometimes, and if it does change like how the energy of like everybody is, then it's like, it's your fault.
You can feel it in the air. You can literally feel in the air, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, because I've never done this, but you and Mark have. Tell me the most pissed off someone was at you. Explain that story.
So not at me, but I was just telling somebody this story last night because it's just so over the top and funny. My co-captain from my Wednesday team, he was head reffing a game, and the guy who was kicking didn't like the call he made, and he's like, I am going to kill you and your entire fucking family.
Damn.
I was like, that seems reasonable for kickball. Like,
buddy,
what?
you gotta breathe. You gotta take your meds.
I've had
there's some people that need to take their meds, and like,
absolutely. No names, but there's definitely some people that take kickball way too serious.
Oh yeah.
So Mark, your turn.
I've had, this hasn't happened to me in kickball. I've had people be very reasonable to me in kickball.
really?
Volleyball. I have. I don't do it as much as you do, Phil. Volleyball, on the other hand, is I've had people get in my face over certain calls. And I was like, what the hell do you want me to do right now? Like, we're adults playing a kid's game right now. It's like, do you really think I'm going to lose any sleep over this? It's like, come on. Like, get over yourself.
Right.
And you lose the $1,000. Oh wait, no, there is no money.
There's no money. There's no money.
You don't even get a trophy. You're gonna fight me. Okay.
Well, at least, so in volleyball, you got to pose with the trophy, but then we just take the trophy back.
It's funny. Do you ever think, and maybe this is a completely different topic, but do you ever think that when people react to you unreasonably, they're just assholes, or maybe that's something else going on in their lives? Or a little of both, maybe?
Definitely both.
I think it's some of both.
Definitely both. There was this guy in kickball that I'm pretty convinced he had serious emotional problems, because like he would just escalate so much that, like, you know, like, and he would escalate himself, even like with no outside factors. He would just get like more and more angry and like just be ready to fight people. And it's just like,
yeah.
Man.
Dude,
I've been talking about my teenage. I've been talking about my teenager the whole show so far, and I mean that's what I tell Jamie all the time. I'm like, somebody's mean to you, it sucks. It sucks when people are mean to you, but like,
Yeah.
you have to, as a reasonable person, as maybe the reasonable person in the conversation, you have to be like, but what does that mean? Like, are they just jerks? Like, because some people are mean. Or maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe something really bad is happening. And you just got to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It's all chemistry too, because like, if you have two people that just having the worst day of their lives, they end up getting into a fight. That's just like bad chemistry. They might actually be good friends.
Right.
At the same point, that doesn't make it right. I mean, if someone's having a bad day, does it mean that you should be taking down other people? Of course not. So,
No.
But does it make it wrong?
It explains things, but
it explains things. Yeah, it doesn't justify it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm getting much better as I get old. I'm getting much better at like seeing the gray in the world. And I was a very black and white person for a very long time. I was raised by black and white people. And until someone, and I thank my wife for helping me look at the gray, but like until someone explains to you that the world is a gradient, it's hard to understand, honestly.
Yeah.
I ran out of time, and that was fine.
There's a good live song called "The Beauty of Gray."
Nice. But Ed Kowalczyk's an asshole.
I mean, he could still sing about it.
I remember we saw him on that wonderful. We saw live, and
yes, live.
They literally blew the fucking roof off. Like it was the greatest concert everyone we went with has ever been to.
Yeah.
Right.
To be fair, that is a very small venue, but I think that made it even cooler because it was like 500 of us crammed into a tiny fucking little hall. And they just
like the roof was sweating. The concert.
Right. And Ed even acknowledged it. He's like, whoa. He's like, the roof is dripping. It's like, yeah. And then that was.
But then
the song "White." Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Phil, did you ever see a show at Lupo's when it was still around?
I did. Don't ask.
So that's what it was like. Like
there's a place in Albany. There's a place in the Capital Region called Northern Lights, which is like small but like enclosed and like
Upstate
had a lot of really.
Does it still exist?
It was Northern Lights when we went.
Yeah.
And then it turned into Upstate Concert Hall.
That's right.
Upstate Concert Hall, I think, still exists.
Okay.
And literally a month or so after this concert was the year that Ed Kowalczyk stole all the music.
Oh, right, yeah, because they just put out songs from the Black Mountain or
just
whatever.
Like, actually, you guys, I own it all now because my lawyers are great because I'm Ed Kowalczyk.
They have since apologized and made up and stuff, but that was like, there was a good 6-7 years there of Ed being an asshole.
Yeah, he was. He was like, "Oh, nobody gives a shit when I sing the songs by myself. Oh, that's not as good."
The funny part is actually he did come by himself to he had a band playing to the free concerts in Albany on the water. What are those shows called?
Alive at 5.
Alive at 5, yeah. That was fun. But yeah, no, it's not the same without the band live though. That just makes it so much cooler.
We're saying live a lot. Also, we need to move on.
Live. Okay.
That was weird, Pete.
Live on Alive at 5. Okay. Go.
Owner of the next topic, much better now. Owner of the next topic.
All right, I need to split up my football topics, and since I'm being a homer, I'm going to continue to be a homer.
When are you not a homer, John?
I'm always a homer. So guys, it might be happening. In many folks' opinion, the New York Giants were the winners of the 2025 NFL Draft and might be trying to make up some ground after 2 atrocious seasons in a row. So Abdul Carter at number 3, quite possibly the best pure athlete in the draft, helps the Giants reestablish an opposing front 7, and even more importantly, the Giants have finally chosen an identity defense first. They also got Brian Dable, who is the quarterback whisperer, another tall, hard-throwing rookie QB in Jackson Dart. Dart, a 3-year starter at Ole Miss, broke every record set there by Ole Miss legend and Giant legend Eli Manning. With arguably a top 5 NFC defense and an actual hope at QB, how do we expect the Giants to do in the 25-26 season? And is Jackson Dart the guy? Because he certainly looks like an NFL starting quarterback.
I love how John asks these questions that he wants us to answer, but he really just wants to talk about it more.
He's really
John,
excited about this.
How many wins do you think the Giants are going to have next season?
I'm not going to be unreasonable. I don't think they're going to go from 3 to 4.
16-1?
I don't think they're going to go from 3 to 14. However, I don't think they're going to go from 3 to 14 because I don't think they're going to rush Jackson Dart into the role.
They also play the Eagles in their division.
So you think
kind of rough?
What are our choices? Jameis and Russ, right?
I think Russ starts. Because Russ has to start. He had a good season. He's still Russell Wilson. Jackson Dart has said Russell Wilson was an idol. He had a Russell Wilson jersey. He's saying all the right things. He's already media trained.
Yeah, you definitely try Russ first because he's the one that had the highest ceiling at the peak of his career, right? See if there's anything left in the tank.
Russ is a Super Bowl guy, right? Like let neighbors catch the ball, look fancy.
Right, We'll see if he's still got anything left in the tank, and if not, do they go to Jameis next, or do they throw Dart out there? What do you think?
I think that the more exciting part about the 25-26 New York Giants is Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns.
It's a hell of a front four.
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
They're very imposing.
And that might be one of the strongest front fours in the league.
We did mention it. The reason we beat the undefeated New England Patriots is because we abused the shit out of them. The Giants' identity has always been defense. Lawrence Taylor, what's his face with the teeth? What is his fucking name?
Yes, what's his face with the teeth? I love that guy.
Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan. I mean, we've always every year
Dancing with the Stars fame too.
Every year that the Giants have been good, they have also had an imposing defense. And I'm really excited about the front four. It's a really cool thing because Abdul Carter literally is a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
He starts right away. Now, if you listen to the show, I've been talking about Jackson Dart for 3 fucking months.
Do you think he's got it?
That is a truth fact.
I mean, like you said, the numbers in college are good. I mean, better than Eli's.
He's
apparently.
Eli Manning's best friend.
He's 6'2". He's not 6'4" like Josh Allen. He's 6'2". He was clocked. His arm speed was clocked at the combine at over 50 miles an hour.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's good. It's real. Okay. It's really good. the same way you clock a pitcher, bro.
Okay,
it's the same machine.
No. You're.
But I'm saying, how does that translate to?
You're clocking ball speed.
Ball speed.
I said the wrong word.
Okay.
That's why I was like, how do you know, the angular momentum of the arm? I mean, what are they measuring?
He's a 3-year starter. He broke a shitload of records at Ole Miss. He looks great. And all of the misgivings I had with Danny Dimes when they drafted him 6 from Duke, fucking idiot. I don't have them with Jackson Dart.
Yeah, he seems a lot more promising than
a lot
Danny.
More promising. He does.
I mean, do you think that the Giants were right in moving up in the draft to get him? Do you think someone else would have snatched him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of buzz.
Sanders,
right?
Shatter Sanders went 140. Shatter Sanders went 144.
Yeah,
he went 144. We'll talk about that too.
That's a different story.
Yes,
but I mean, I think that Jackson Dart, with his performance in the combine, with his interviews, with his college experience, I think he made himself the clear QB2 in this year's draft, and I think that. The Giants were never going to get Cam Ward, and the Giants needed a quarterback, so I think they're in good shape. Oh,
do you think that by the end of the season, Jackson Dart will be the starter?
I hope so.
And to follow up on that, would you be okay with them going the Green Bay Jordan Love route, and he just absolutely 0% chance he plays this year. He's just redshirt.
I mean, that definitely worked. So I would also be okay with that. I think that, unfortunately, John Mara is going to put a little pressure on the Giants. They can't win 3 games this year. They lost probably a lot of revenue last year.
Brian Dable has
MetLife is very, very expensive. I think that Brian Dable and Joe Shoheen, I think that they probably need to try and win 10 games this year for everybody to keep their jobs.
I don't know if they're going to get to 10, but they need to at least be sniffing a playoff spot in December.
High draft pick next year, though?
How about 8?
Sure. I mean,
8 wins.
Be in the hunt in December for the playoffs, and I think they'll keep their jobs for one more year.
I think so.
Yeah.
And whatever that looks like shit, if Russ comes out week 1 and Neighbors looks great and the defense looks great, I don't think Dart needs to start.
I mean, Neighbors is going to look great, but I don't know.
He is, because he's really good at football. But he's really, really very good at football.
I just don't know. This is the 3rd time in a row a team is like, hey, remember those good years of Russell Wilson? I just don't think it's going to happen. Which means it's going to be the more fun to me and more exciting Jameis Winston show.
Jameis Winston, if anyone has looked at Jameis Winston on social media, he is amazing.
I believe it.
In New York. He's literally driving boats in New Jersey, talking about gabagool. He went into an Italian deli and they told him the word gabagool and he said it for 20 minutes, literally straight. He's a fucking gift. Jameis Winston belongs in New York. I love him.
Yep.
I love him. I don't care who throws. I love all 3 of those fucking guys. I just want to not lose every goddamn game. That's it. Just be competitive.
Didn't
play
he pray in a press conference to God to not let him throw too many interceptions once?
Yep, he did.
He was like, and deliver me from interceptions or something.
He did. He's a gift. Everyone who's listening, look up Jameis Winston's stories. Look up the gabagool. Gabagool's ham, by the way, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially.
Gotcha.
We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, Cluck Track. GPS collars for your chickens.
What?
Free range without the mystery.
I gotta tell you, Mark,
that's the most
sounds
unique
like
product I've ever heard of.
Mark, that sounds like something different.
I like that.
One syllable off, and we're telling a whole different story.
You need to market that to Dane and Kate and their chickens.
No.
Yes. No, Dane will just make one.
He will. That's true.
All right, Pete, you're gonna like this one. Ready?
Okay.
If there's something strange in your neighborhood, what you gonna say? Next topic!
Yes.
If there's something weird and it don't look good, what you gonna say? Next topic!
Let me tell you something.
I thought you were gonna go on.
Next topic makes me feel good.
I am afraid of no topics.
Wow.
All right, Ray
Parker Jr., 1984, amazing.
If you've ever captained or coached a team, one of the most important jobs to do is build a lineup. Now, for sports like basketball, football, and hockey, you have to ensure there's chemistry among that group of players. But with sports such as kickball, baseball, and softball, you worry about incrementally building an offense in some shape or form. So, everyone, what is the best way to construct a lineup, and do we feel that strategy should change in the playoffs?
Phil first. Teach us.
So kickball, obviously, there's different rule sets also. Like sometimes you're playing rules where everybody can bunt. Sometimes there's restrictions in some leagues where they don't want people to bunt. Don't be a pussy, don't bunt. Some people are like that still, believe it or not. So anyway,
that was a great impersonation, by the way, Phil.
I was quoting somebody actually.
I felt like I was there.
I feel like I know who you're talking about actually.
Oh God. So
so
if you're talking about a kicking league, then you're obviously speed is key when you're talking about baseball, kickball, stuff like that, softball. You need fast people at the beginning of your lineup. Some people that can really hit line drives, hit those those spots, like they're going to be at the top of your lineup. And then obviously like you got your like cleanup people that can freaking aim for the skies and, you know, get those other people home. And then it's just like a mixture of like figuring out the rest. Like what's interesting with kickball, you know, you're just talking about like social rec kickball. You don't have, you know, front to back athletes. So it's like you got some people who are like a little bit low. And then it's all about like, you know, if you have like some people that they might be an automatic out, you know, like they're going to get on base like 1 out of 20 times, like against most teams. Like you got to figure out where strategically to put them in, and you know that versus pro sports, like whole spectrum.
Can I ask you an interesting question about maybe being the captain of a rec league? How do you know? Like, and maybe not on day 20, but maybe on day 1 or day 2. Like, do you make quick spot judgments in people? Do you guys have practices beforehand?
I'll say probably a practice, right?
No, not even.
No.
No.
Not an adult rec league.
No.
You're like, I mean, do you like, you look like a fatty, so like, I don't know about you.
Oh, usually when you're a captain of a team, you've already had established relationships with most of the people, so you know how they're all gonna play.
Do you get to choose?
Yeah, I guess if you know the players ahead of time.
I guess let's talk about that a little more. Like, do you get to choose the players? Or do you like put a team together of like your friends, or do you get saddled with people?
Both.
Oh
Both
shit!
of those things are apparent. In fact, that was something in our Rhode Island league that became an issue where there was some free agents, and people are like, "Well, I already have 16 people, and like that's kind of my sweet spot." You know, with you're not going to have everybody every week necessarily, but it's like, you know, like you don't want to have 25 people on your roster, because then like in a 7-inning game, say if you get out, say nobody gets on base, you know,
Yeah, everyone gets up
four
once.
people, 4 people don't actually kick because you got 21 outs and you got 25 people on your team. So, you know, so then like sometimes you have people who are signing up who don't have a team already and they're free agents, and then it's just like this wild card. Like this could be somebody that hasn't exercised in the past 20 years. It could be somebody that's like a near professional level athlete at the same time. Quick story: this guy Matt Kelly, who was captaining this like world class team, this kickball team called the Meatballs out of Florida. They would like travel all these tournaments, and they were dominant. They'd win like, you know, 50% of the tournaments they were attending. And he came back to Waltham, Mass one year, and he ended up playing with this team called Care Scout that was a corporate team. And like everybody was like, oh, so like who's this stupid corporate team? You know, who like nobody on the team really had any experience, except they had one of the captains of like literally one of the best captains in the country for kickball. And he ended up leading them, and they ended up winning.
They did?
Yes.
Amazing.
Just unbelievable. And so it's like anything can happen, like with the right direction. Like this guy, Matt Kelly, learned so much from him. Like he'd just be standing there. He'd look at the kicker, and I'd be standing there with him at a tournament, and he'd be like, see how the way they're they're standing and their shoes. Like that's a football player. It's like last game they kicked to right, and you're like, okay, you're watching, and the person gets up and they kick the ball to right field, and you're like, how the fuck does he know this? And he could tell just by like just somebody's clothes and their like the way they like approach the plate, like what sports they were coming from, because he actually worked as a golf pro, so he would spend all day teaching people like how their swing is a little bit off and need to analyze things. And so like he would do that with all sports, and like so interesting.
That's awesome. And we are at time, and I think that's a great story to end it on.
I dig it.
Sorry, I'm long-winded.
No, it's all good.
Good job, Phil. I always feel like discussing next topic, and I have no argument. Oh, I always feel like discussing next topic.
That's so good, Mark.
Nice, Mark.
I actually rehearsed these songs before the show.
Nice.
I love
As
it.
opposed to just writing them down and then just praying that they work out.
Right.
All right, so something we don't talk about frequently, the Wrexham Football Club keeps on succeeding and will celebrate their third straight promotion in a ticket-only party at Stock Racecourse on this coming Sunday. This promotion puts them in the EFL Championship after historic
They got promoted again.
third
Amazing.
consecutive promotion and their highest level, check this out, of English football since 1982.
Huh.
EFL also, we said this when they started this storied run, EFL just happens to be one league away from the esteemed Premier League. So,
Wow.
Amazing.
what was a pipe dream 2 years ago when we talked seems to be well within reach. So can anything stop Paul Mullen, Sam Smith, and the rest of Wrexham AFC?
I mean, when you got a dream and you got the money, you got the star power, you got
And yeah, when you have Ryan Reynolds and Ryan McElhaney, or Rob McElhaney.
what can stop you?
Well, I think that means a lot. I really do. And I think Ryan Reynolds knows how to sell a product, and we've said this a lot.
But that's got nothing to do with their play on the field, though.
Yes,
No,
it does.
But he does know
Yes,
how to
it
sell it
does.
to
Recruiting, 'cause he
recruits.
can't-
Because the thing that makes every sports team good is money. Wrexham struggled for a lot of years, and this is what McElhaney said, because this town in Wales, it's
Right.
a small little town.
Probably
They don't have a
low
ton.
income, right? Blue collar at best.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
McElhaney said this is like a very Philly town.
Yeah.
And this is the reason that drew them to it.
Right.
So
Great people just not having the means to really fund the team.
the first thing they did was get real sponsors. They've had different sponsors every year. I think they were sponsored by United this season. But real money makes real difference in sports teams. Period. Hard stop.
But it's a little bit more than that, because when you're in a certain league, you're only allowed to pay your players a certain amount of money as well.
Yeah, and as you go up, you can pay them more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you attract those high caliber athletes when you can really only when you pay them like on a tenth of as much?
I think
as,
that's
like
I think
the
that might be
Premier
where the
League.
star power comes in, honestly. Like these two are probably excellent at selling, like John was saying, like that's part of the marketing of the team and the product, right? It's not just marketing it to the fans, it's marketing it to potential players.
How brilliant. And I think that I watch a little, but I think that Paul is up to date on Welcome to Wrexham. I think that Mark watched a little bit of it. I know Pete didn't. But like how
No, but
brilliant
I did follow the story though.
how brilliant is them getting an FX show to follow this
marketing.
story.
It's like free marketing almost.
It's free marketing, and it increases the feeling of like the city as part of something special.
Yeah, there were people
Sure.
like people that lived in the town that are insta famous now because of that show.
Right.
Mm.
I mean, how much does that help? I mean, I think there's so many
I think it
pieces of
does,
this
right? It'll attract
that are
players
really very cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
That show is so well done that like whoever's doing the editing, like it just sucks you in. Like I never watched a Wrexham game in my life. Watched one of the episodes and you're like
You're like an
"Holy
instant
shit,
fan now,
there's
right? Yeah.
6-0."
I'm in,
And,
yeah.
like, they edit it so well that like you feel like you're at these games like with all the fans, and it's like it really sucks you in.
That's cool.
Like that's got to mean something too.
So on this promotion game, Sam Smith, and you guys can look this up. He did a ninja kick, is what they called it. He literally flew through the air
What?
and did a karate kick and scored a goal,
Like Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat?
like Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat. And he was like, I got the inspiration for this kick from one of our owners, Ryan Reynolds, from his action movies. And I
Yes,
was
he
just
did.
like,
that's so cool. I love it.
I just think the whole thing is so fucking great, and I think it's so good for English football for them to make the Premier League, because like you want to talk about like
I mean, that's the end game, right? That's the goal.
They want to make it, and I think all of football, I think they wanted them to make it. I think it's the end goal, right, Peter? I think you're right.
How many leagues away are they now with this third
They're
promotion?
one league away. They need one more promotion. They're in the Premier
right
League.
There, okay, shit.
Yeah, EFL is one under.
Wow.
And they're in EFL now.
That's
now,
incredible.
Here's the thing. They're having a party this weekend. They did not win the championship in this league, but they still got promoted. There's like a range.
Okay.
So they didn't want to have like a parade or anything. They did win the championship in the last two leagues. So there is a possibility that they're reaching kind of the peak of their ability. Premier League is a big jump, right?
I mean, now that, like Mark said, right, they have more money to pay players. They may be able to get a few more high-profile ringers in there.
Do they have to like either expand on the stadium or move to a different stadium, being in
maybe
the higher league now?
I don't actually know. Stock is not big. I mean, Wrexham's not a big town, but they win, right?
Yeah.
Now, this
that's
was
the kind
brought
of where the
up-
town would walk over there and I'll just start building the stadium.
Probably.
This was brought up a little while. Do you feel that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney will sell the team when they get to a certain point?
No.
Or do you think they're in it for the long haul?
I think
No,
at least,
I don't think they sell the team.
at least till their Premier League. Then maybe.
It's a fucking moneymaker.
Yeah, true.
They get a piece of the show.
They'll probably
They get a
probably
piece-
stop the show at some point, but
No.
No, I don't think so.
As long
So
as
what
they
do you
win.
think? What do you think?
McElhaney, he said something at one point. He's just like, it's important to talk to your sponsors and the people who are paying the bills, but sometimes it gets in the way of the football, because like there was a game happening at the same time that he was meeting with somebody, and he seemed like he was truly involved, and whether it was because it's his baby or not, but like he seems like now he's like
guys, I don't know how much anybody's following it, but like they love this. They go to the games all the time. They bring their friends. Paul Rudd goes all the time. They're always there. And actually, it was they were at the promotion game, but there was a game that they missed, and there was like, where are the owners? They're always here.
It's amazing the sheer number of games that they go to, considering both of them are actors and in high demand and like movie and TV roles.
I mean, I think Ryan Reynolds has a little more work than McElhenney. I mean,
well, Ryan's
but still,
it probably doesn't
Ryan
take
Reynolds
a
goes
lot.
to a lot.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't take a lot to film Always Sunny.
no, but I think I've heard there's
still
another
find it
season
funny.
of that coming out too.
They won't stop.
In July. There's a crossover they did with Abbott Elementary too.
That was cool.
that was funny as hell.
That
Yeah,
was funny
good.
as hell.
That was good.
All right, final thoughts. We're at time.
One of my favorite episodes was when they first, I think it was in the first season. And I believe that Rob McElhenney also had his wife at the game and Ryan Reynolds. And there was a goal scored or they won the game or something like that. And McElhenney, who's married to Caitlin Olsen, went to go hug Ryan Reynolds first. And you can see Caitlin Olsen, his wife, is like, yep.
Slam dunk.
Amazing.
There we go.
What I find really interesting with like being able to like be promoted into all these leagues is like unlike say like basketball, you have your starting five where it's like you're always seeing your same five faces, but it's like if you're actually advancing all that much, you're having so much changeover that now like by the time if they do get to the Premier League, it's like you're still loyal to your team, your brand, but it's like all the faces are different, and that must be kind of weird.
It's like hockey too, right? The roster's just too big. Or are you saying just over time, like from league to league, they just have to keep turning over the roster a lot?
Yeah. I mean, because like your team that's playing like down 3 leagues, like they're
Yeah,
obviously
you need to keep
not,
up with the rest of the teams. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
they're not going
There's
to
a
be.
lot of there's a lot of turnover.
Right. It's not like a role playing game where they're like level up. Like Phil Jackson,
Right.
who's been playing the entire time, is now like way better because they've been promoted.
Well, they went out in this last promotion and grabbed Sam Smith, who's actually Welch. So that was the story, and they're going to keep doing shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to.
Sure.
All right, Mark, sing a song.
Here comes the next topic, falling on my head like a memory. We talking about you, so baby, talk to me like lovers do.
It's really good, man.
Talk to me. Oh, it's my turn, isn't it? All right. So earlier this week, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees were announced, and they include Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, Chubby Checker, Salt and Peppa, Bad Company, Joe Cocker, The White Stripes, and many more. Some may concentrate on the positives of those that got inducted. Meanwhile, others are focused more on those that didn't make the cut, including one of the biggest names in music from the 90s in Mariah Carey. Others still not in the hall to Cleveland include Billy Idol and fan favorite Fish. I'll say that 3 times fast.
Huh.
So everyone, what are our thoughts on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, and why do we think that Mariah Carey and others are getting snubbed?
Mariah Carey's not really rock, though.
That's what I
So
was
they've
thinking.
changed that. They've changed that in the
That's not really
in
a thing anymore.
Past years, yeah.
So it's
they've,
like
they've been
the
letting
Rock and
other
Pop
like
Hall of
it's
Fame?
become
'Cause
like a
then that's
music Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Music Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Dolly Parton got in a few years ago. I
How
mean,
is
she's
Billy
like an
Idol
icon.
not in there?
You're more upset about Billy Idol than Mariah Carey?
No, I mean I guess both. But like, well, because but Billy Idol like is traditional. Like I could see him more getting in for like the
Okay.
rock part of it too.
Let's-
even before they changed it.
Level set. What makes a Hall of Fame rock and roll musician? What is that?
I don't know, album sales, number of like longevity, success, how many big hits they made. I don't know. Like
I mean,
what
I don't
maybe
know.
maybe maybe a deeper thing would be influence on culture, society. Like there's a reason Nirvana burned so brightly and so briefly, and yet they're like they have a whole wing in that place dedicated to them, right? Or no, never mind. I'm thinking of a museum in Seattle. That's a little different, but still, like, right? They'd be heralded in there eternally because of they changed music in like overnight. So I guess it's kind of like your NFL Hall of Fame or baseball or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like you could do it if you just keep on trucking and keep touring forever, and you know eventually you'll just earn your stripes, or you can change the fucking world. And that maybe that's enough. It's got to be something.
I think musical impact is probably a good level. I mean, it's subjective, but
of course, all
Nirvana
artists.
definitely changed music. Prince definitely changed music.
Oh yeah, right. Prince was legend. Like, I mean, he's also probably the best. Like,
Now, can we
guitar
say that
soloist
the White Stripes changed music?
I don't think so.
I mean,
But I mean, Jack White
Or
in general is pretty iconic. I mean,
Or Cyndi Lauper?
hey,
Cyndi
she
Lauper, I would say
wrote.
yes.
She wrote "Goonies Are Good Enough," and I just checked. I really wanted to do a next topic
Dude,
for this time.
I love you, man.
Yep.
I really do.
I really want to do a next topic of Time After Time, but that was 1983. We missed it by 1 year.
Oh, shit.
I love that song,
what are,
by the
what
way.
Are, what are your thoughts? Who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for music, you think?
I mean, what John was saying, its impact to me makes the most sense. Because are you going to say Carly Rae Jepsen gets in for "Call Me Maybe" because she sold a trillion albums? And you're like, well,
No, fuck that. Fuck
No.
that, Phil. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, it's lyrical genius, but besides that. No, like, yeah, and it must be interesting. I don't know much about the Hall of Fame, like how they make these decisions, but like, yeah, like you're saying, it's like this impact, you know, if you've changed an entire generation, you know, versus like somebody else who, you know, some people have sold a lot of albums, but they're just like, you know, the same stuff,
Sure.
you know,
That's the
Cyndi Lauper. Also,
there's different categories associated with the Hall of Fame. Like it's not really just your entire discography or something like that. There's actually like subsections associated with who gets inducted with the Hall of Fame. Like, and some people are like, yes, who was the biggest impact? Some of them have like some social things associated with it, like maybe just the overall culture, maybe not necessarily music. I think that's why Salt and Pepper got in, because they were they're a big influence to some current musicians, but they I forget specifically what the category was called.
And they wrote the best influence. like hospital.
Salt and Pepper here.
Yeah, they also wrote the best like labor hospital push song in world history, right?
So
Cyndi
Phil was going to say,
Lauper-
Phil was going to say something on Cyndi Lauper. I don't want to forget.
So apparently she is just a absolute professional. I heard she was singing a live concert in New York, and she went up to hit this high note. I think it might have been in Time After Time, sang up to the sky, pigeon shit right in her mouth.
No.
She just swallowed that thing, didn't miss a beat, like an absolute professional.
Wow. Damn.
Like, wow.
No, Cyndi Lauper's awesome.
Is something.
Damn. Wow.
You want to know something funny, Mark?
What's that?
We're at time. Do you know what time it is? Because that's a great ending.
Wait.
Is it Time After Time?
Time After Time?
Actually, this might have been around 1984.
No, it's not.
No,
Pete.
not yet, Pete. You missed your
Pete, shut the fuck up. It's time, Pete. It's time.
Yeah, I know.
It's the final topic.
I was going to ask what year this song came out. I was going to say the final topic.
1986.
Right. Made famous by If These Balls Could Talk. Not the band, not to be confused with the song for the band Europe.
No, we're not talking about that. It's a different song. Totally different song.
Right.
So, one of the biggest stories of this year's NFL draft and this week is top 5 hopeful Shedeur Sanders slipping all the way down to the 5th round and number 144 overall. It got so bad, you guys, that the Browns picked a different rookie quarterback before they picked Shedeur Sanders. So Travis Kelce spoke out aggressively about his own experience of being judged on his character by scouts and slipping to number 63 during the NFL draft on New Heights this week, and was agitated at the anonymous reports bashing Sanders for how he conducted himself during interviews and his overall demeanor. So, Cleveland still got their guy in the end. What does the slip do to Sanders' rookie season and overall to his career, and what do we think actually happened?
So this, listen. There's two sides to every story, and this has been definitely publicized in the past that certain people in the draft will will intentionally tank an interview if they don't want to play for that team, which isn't exactly being working with integrity.
I mean, the report is though that Sanders was terrible in all his interviews.
Did you hear from all 32 teams, John? No, we didn't really.
I don't know.
Well, I don't think everybody interviewed him.
Brian Dable didn't like him at all. He said that pretty openly.
Yeah, Brian Dable doesn't like a lot of people, though.
He liked Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't want to play for the Giants. That's what.
I mean, do you think he wanted to play for the Browns, Mark? I don't like this. I don't like this logic.
No. The Browns were actually one of the teams that he wanted to play for. Believe it or not.
Interesting.
I think now. Do I think that maybe the way that he came off, because listen, he's the son of Deion Sanders, he's the son of prime time.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, there's probably a certain swagger and that he had.
He did grow up a millionaire. He grew up as a millionaire.
Didn't he have legendary signs all over his draft party room?
Yes, he had his own draft tent.
Conceited.
He had his own draft tent, which said legendary everywhere. He notably was filmed having a little like bitch match with Cam Ward about who was going to go number 1 a couple of months ago.
Well, that didn't work out
Cam
so
Ward,
well.
Cam Ward told him he was he was a quarterback who only threw into bubble coverage and I don't remember the words.
Well,
My brain is too drunk.
It's high percentage easy throws, right? That's a lot
Yes,
of
he
standard
throws
targets.
easy throws.
Yeah.
He said something about him being a shitty
No, it is.
quarterback.
Right.
And
Their offense is totally reliant on yak and wide receiver and running back talent.
And Shatter Sanders got butthurt and left. He stopped talking and he ran away. So, I mean, now, and we were actually talking about this on our Dynasty thread this week. I think it was probably pretty difficult to grow up being Deion Sanders' son. Yeah. So I get it.
I mean, yeah, there's pressure
probably
there.
Really hard. Sure. Probably really hard.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to, he's trying to promote a brand as well, like the prime time brand. So you listen, you think you're the shit. You think your shit don't stink. It's probably the whole like character or brand that he was trying to go with and whatnot. And did it play out well for a lot of NFL teams? Probably not.
No.
So I mean, is he Brock Purdy though? Is he going to be number 144? Is he going to be like a starting like top 10 quarterback?
I mean, Brock. I feel like Brock
Probably
Purdy.
Not.
That kind of happened by circumstance. So like, that was never
I
supposed
still
to
don't
happen.
think Brock Purdy's that good.
You don't think he's that good? You said.
I don't think he's that good.
Well, look what happens when the talent starts eroding around him, right? Suddenly San Fran's not all that great anymore.
He doesn't make him better.
No, but he was serviceable.
And this also is a conversation about how good quarterbacks make bad teams, Buffalo Bills, better. They make them better.
Yeah. I mean, I think of Purdy as like, it reminds me a little bit of Tyrod Taylor, where like, he's good enough where if you load up the team around him, they're going to be good.
Can a serviceable quarterback, though, win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's happened before. It's happened multiple times before.
Dilfer did.
Trent
Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Joe Flacco did it.
I mean, yeah, maybe Joe Flacco was the last journeyman quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Granted, he does have a pretty good arm, or at least he did in 2012.
No, but
whenever
the
that
guys
year
like
that was.
the guys like Fitz, the guys like Flacco, the guys like there's a lot of them. The guys like Kirk Cousins who are good enough to lead a team.
Sure.
How
put Kirk
many
a little bit above those guys, but yeah,
it's in the same. Year Kirk.
Not last year, Kirk. That was not good. That was not good.
Kirk got fired. He's getting fired.
Yeah,
you guys.
I think the Kirk Cousins career is coming to a close.
He's laughing it all the way to the bank. He's getting paid $30.
Side note,
to sit down.
Fucking rich.
Side note, Pete. Remember when Rick got mad at me for trading Kirk Cousins for what's his face? Derek Carr. Derek Carr is going to have a job next year, but Kirk Cousins probably isn't.
If Derek
Carr doesn't necessarily have a job next year. Yeah.
Derek Carr is in multiple pieces. He's like,
yeah, they're going to put his pieces back together. It's fine.
Maybe
it's fine.
Derek Carr falls to pieces.
I just had a vision of Humpty Dumpty.
Let's talk about the pressure in an NFL team of putting, and I mean, let's just talk about it, $100 million, $1 billion organization in the hands of one guy. So how much does quality of person matter? I mean, does it matter that a quarterback is a good person?
I mean,
does it matter that they come across as humble, maybe as a good leader?
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger.
It matters
proved that you can just be amazing and be a total asshole and sex. But
Deshaun Watson hasn't, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Arguably, Deshaun Watson's still a pretty good athlete, but kind of a shithead.
It matters with team chemistry. Like, your team has to be willing to die for your quarterback. So if they don't like you, then they're not necessarily going to play as hard as they.
I mean, I would think that Jalen Hurts probably in the upper, maybe not top 5, but maybe top 10 upper echelon quarterback. I mean,
you mentioned Josh Allen. Josh Allen's everyone's little brother, right?
Everybody's little brother.
We fight for our little brother, right?
Sure.
And I think that was the attitude in Buffalo last year.
I mean,
everybody was really happy he was going to get married. All of the players, everybody loves Josh Allen. The whole team.
I mean,
I think that
he also busted through walls for his own team too. I mean, that does something,
right? I think that everybody. I mean, it goes along. I mean, maybe they're the highest paid players, and that's why they do this. But like the quarterbacks, they buy their offensive line really extravagant presents every Christmas, right? I mean, right?
Apparently,
like
Russell Wilson's the best at that.
Joe Burrow got his offensive line last year. Battle-tested katanas that they got to design.
What the fuck? That's amazing.
Right? It's
Damn
amazing.
it, Joe Burrow! Why are you so cool?
Yes. Yeah.
Phil, do you do that for the kickball team? If they win the championship, you get them like an extravagant gift,
like katanas.
Definitely getting katanas.
It's a great present. It's really great.
This doesn't work on the kickball. It cuts the ball in half. Ball doesn't go anywhere.
Have you ever seen this is on the internet too? Baseball players, they'll get a katana and they'll cut baseballs in half with their batting practice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, wasn't there a major league
cool.
player that they showed that like on slow motion camera? It was the coolest thing.
That was cool. So I guess the question, because we are out of time, I guess the question is, A, do we agree with Shader Sanders dropping to the 5th round? And B, do you think he's going to be a successful quarterback next year?
I don't. Yes, on the first.
He's gonna. Yeah, I think he's eventually going to be the starter in Cleveland. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think this year quite yet. But I bet I'm sure he'll play.
All the other quarterbacks suck.
That's
do you
true.
think Flacco needs? What if Flacco needs to have a nap one day because he's like 50?
Yeah, that'll happen. And no, Sanders will play. I just don't know if he's going to be good this year. Like even if he's good down the line, I think it might take him a year or two to figure it out.
Well, also because Cleveland doesn't really have anyone to throw to.
Yeah, they let go of they didn't take Elijah Moore. Thanks for that one. Hey, at least the Bills got a receiver. But yeah,
is Elijah Moore really going to tip the needle though, bro? I know we were talking about it before. I don't think he is.
He's a role player, but it's a role that the Bills had zero of. So in that sense, yes, I think he's more useful to Buffalo than he would have been to a lot of other teams. He'll compete to be a starter wide receiver. The bar's kind of low there. Yeah.
Jesus. Cleveland has a bad offensive team.
Yeah,
their top receiver is Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah,
Jeudy is good, but that's it.
Number 2 is Cedric Tillman. Oh Christ!
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Jeudy is it. That's it. He's good.
And maybe Deontay Johnson if his body gets put back together.
We'll see about that.
All right. Let's get out of here, Mark.
That has been our topics. Yeah. We will be back next week with our friend Stephanie Ford. Stefan, no relation.
We will not.
Oh,
next week?
Change.
Steve Mercer is going to do the show for us. Hey, Steve.
All right. So we will be back next week with our friend Steve Mercer. In the meantime, you can catch up on our old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by clicking that little bell.
Tickle.
We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Phil.
No.
Thanks, Phil.
Tickled the bell.
I did.
Phil, would you like to do one last plug for your band and even your YouTube channel?
Come check out Nuclear Wolf. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that garbage. So check us out. Go to Phil Preventure on YouTube. You can see kickball videos from the past 15 years. Some crazy stuff, some funny stuff, some stupid stuff. Stupid stuff is usually
Love the stupid stuff.
Nice.
All right.
Stupid.
I'm sorry,
thank you
I
guys
screwed
so
you
much
up
for
right
having.
It's okay. I'm manually recycling the song.
You can follow or like us on our socials at @IfTheseBallsPod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Our website is www.iftheseballscould-talkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, in for my partner John Compendium, producer Pete Stephan. That's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Listen to the monkey.